In ancient Kemet, foreigners did not form one unified group. Different peoples, mainly Nubians from the south, Asiatics, Levantines from the northeast, and Libyans from the west, lived, worked, and competed alongside one another under Egyptian authority. Their mutual treatment was shaped by practical interests, status, and the opportunities the Egyptian system offered, rather than by any single code of solidarity. Coexistence and cooperation. In multicultural centers such as Elephantine, Avaris, Pi Ramesses, Memphis, and military settlements, foreigners of different origins often lived and worked side by side. Nubian soldiers, Asiatic craftsmen or traders, and Libyan herdsmen or mercenaries could share the same neighborhoods, serve in the same army units, or labor on the same projects. Collaboration was common when it served mutual advantage. Trade, military service, or securing patronage from Egyptian officials. Some foreign communities developed their own internal networks while still operating within Egyptian institutions. Competition and hierarchy. Foreign groups also competed for the same limited resources, good land, steady employment, military positions, and favor from the Egyptian elite. Higher status foreigners, skilled soldiers, interpreters, merchants, or those who had Egyptianized, tended to look down on lower status newcomers or captives from other regions. Nubian mercenaries, for example, sometimes held privileged military roles and could distinguish themselves from Asiatic laborers or recent war captives. Ethnic labels, Nehesi for Nubians, Amu for Asiatics, Chehenu, Chemehu for Libyans, remained in use and could reinforce social distance even among people living inside Egypt. Intermarriage and integration. Intermarriage between different foreign groups and between foreigners and Egyptians occurred. Over generations, many families mixed origins and adopted Egyptian names, dress, language, and burial practices. In such cases, ethnic boundaries softened. Proud retention of origin also existed. Some Nubian soldiers at Gibelline, for instance, continued to emphasize their Nubian identity even while serving Egypt. Conflict and periods of tension. Open conflict between foreign groups inside Egypt is less well documented than Egyptian foreigner conflict, but rivalry was real. During times of weak central control, intermediate periods, different foreign populations could align with competing Egyptian factions or with outside powers. In the Second Intermediate Period, the Hyksos, Asiatic rulers in the north, and the Nubian kingdom of Kerma interacted as regional powers, sometimes in opposition. Later, during the Third Intermediate Period, Libyan descended elites in the north and Nubian, Kushite forces from the south competed for dominance over Egypt itself. Overall pattern: foreigners in ancient Kemet treated one another according to status, usefulness, and immediate interest, rather than according to a shared foreigner identity. Cooperation occurred where it was profitable. Competition and social distancing occurred where resources or prestige were at stake. The Egyptian state encouraged integration into its hierarchical system while still marking ethnic difference in art and language. The result was a pragmatic, often fluid set of relationships among Nubians, Asiatics, Libyans, and others living under pharaonic rule. Practical physical, spiritual, and intellectual implications of how foreigners treated each other in ancient Kemet. Physical implications. Daily physical existence for foreigners was shaped by competition and hierarchy among themselves. Nubians, Asiatics, and Libyans often competed for the same scarce resources: steady work, military positions, housing in mixed settlements, and access to Egyptian patronage. Higher status foreigners, skilled soldiers, interpreters, or those who had already Egyptianized, could secure better rations, safer postings, and less brutal labor, while lower status newcomers or recent captives faced harder physical conditions. Intermarriage and mixed communities sometimes produced physical alliances and shared households, improving survival chances. At the same time, ethnic distancing could mean exclusion from certain work gangs or neighborhoods, leaving some groups more exposed to the physical risks of forced labor, military service on frontiers, or seasonal hardship. The body of a foreigner was therefore not only under Egyptian authority, but also ranked and pressured by other foreigners seeking advantage within the same system. Spiritual implications. Spiritually, the treatment of one foreign group by another reinforced or disrupted a sense of place under Ma'at. Foreigners who cooperated or intermarried could gradually enter Egyptian ritual life, adopting local gods, burial practices, and household cults, thereby gaining a more stable spiritual footing and better prospects for a proper afterlife. Conversely, when groups maintained strong ethnic boundaries or competed aggressively, individuals risked remaining spiritually marginal. Without deep integration into an Egyptian household or institution, support for funerary rites was weaker. The spiritual implication was pragmatic. Acceptance or rejection by other foreigners affected one's ability to secure the social and ritual networks needed to align with the ordered world. Rootlessness or persistent outsider status among fellow foreigners made spiritual security harder to achieve. Intellectual implications. Intellectually, interactions between foreign groups shaped practical knowledge and self-understanding. Those who collaborated across ethnic lines gained broader skills, language mediation, trade knowledge, military tactics, and could rise by demonstrating usefulness to the Egyptian state. Competition, however, encouraged the preservation of distinct identities and the ranking of one group's practical competence above another's. Higher status foreigners often viewed lower status ones as less disciplined or less knowledgeable, reinforcing intellectual hierarchies inside the foreign population. Over time, successful integration required adopting Egyptian ways of thinking about order, hierarchy, and role. The intellectual consequence was clear. A foreigner's standing among other foreigners influenced whether their mind was valued as a useful asset or treated as an administrative problem still needing control. Summary: how foreigners treated each other in ancient Kemet carried direct practical consequences. Physically, it determined access to resources and the hardness of daily labor. Spiritually, it affected the degree of integration into the networks that supported ritual and afterlife security. Intellectually, it shaped whether an individual was seen as competent and useful or as still disordered and subordinate. Cooperation improved prospects across all three dimensions. Competition and ethnic distancing kept many in more precarious physical, spiritual, and intellectual positions within the hierarchical order of Kemet.
For more educational videos and deep dives on this very important and all-encompassing subject, please visit my Patreon at the link given below in the video description and comments page. Thank you for letting your guards down for once and heeding the ancient clarion call. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.